Okay, I hope everybody had a real good Memorial Day, and that you honored the veterans during that time. I honored my father in his service, and it was a good Veterans Day, I guarantee you. Now, I've been asked to do a little bit more of an advanced piece here, and this is really not for beginners, but they can certainly attempt it. But in an old Mallet magazine, now a lot of you don't remember Mallet magazine, I do. A lot of you old timers has been carving a long time. You remember Mallet? Yeah. They no longer made it. It was a magazine that was put out by the Wood Carvers, National Wood Carvers Museum. They had one down there in Monument, Colorado, and I had been there. I've gone there before. And they, we'll get into the story about that. It's kind of a sad story, what happened and what I had read happened. I hope, I don't want to spread rumors or anything like that. But there was a pattern in one of the old Mallet magazines of an Indian on a horse, and a lot of people have asked me to, now we have, like I've told you, we have some of the finest Western carvers, and that would be Lynn Daltrey, who has some videos on carving horses and carving people. And I'm not what you would call the greatest horse carver in the world. I'm not, but we're going to give this a shot. Somebody had asked me to carve a person on a horse, and I said yeah. So this is going to be a little bit more of an extensive project, as we might say. But I got this pattern, and this can relate to any pattern that you do. Now, this is the type of pattern that the legs, it's like the dog that we did with chasing the coon up the tree. Remember his legs? Part of this had to be moved, had to be cut off. This area had to be cut off. This specific leg, and this one's got to be cut back where it's back here, and this one's in the front. Well, that's the same thing with this horse, the way it's done. And we're going to try this project, but it's pretty simple. I mean, what I mean is the design is simple. It's not anything elaborate or anything like that. So this is out of 1 3/4 inch wood, and this thing stands probably, let me get my ruler here. It's about, it's about 5 inches long and stands about 5 inches, a little over 5 inches high. Not a real big project. But I thought, just for the more advanced carvers that would like something a little bit more advanced, we're going to try this. And beginners can try it, but basically what we're trying to do is kind of show you, out of one block of wood, carving a person on a horse, in other words. And that's what a lot of people ask. And as I said, this leg right here, and this leg right here has to go back this way. And on this side, this leg here and this leg here has to go back on this side. So it's a little bit more of a complicated carving, but we'll work on it. Okay. Now, when I look at something like this, the first thing I want to do is, before I start doing anything with the legs, I want to separate a little bit, just to give an idea, the rider from the horse himself. So I would take my knife and I would follow along like this. Goes my pencil. And now when you do this project, if you do a project similar to this or like this, you want the grain to be running this way, of course. You don't want the grain to be running this way, but this way for the legs. And let's just kind of remove a little bit of that in there, just to kind of get a general idea of what we want. The National Carvers Museum, and I have been there. I was there back in the 80s, I believe is what it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was the 80s. I can't remember exactly when. But 80s or 90s, I'm not sure. But this was one fine museum. It hosted the carvings of some of the finest carvers of that time. And it was in Monument, Colorado. Now I'm going to go to this side and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this slow. And I had gone there and saw some beautiful, beautiful work. I mean, they had Emil Janel had some of his pieces in there, and some of the fine carvers of that time. And they had a magazine called Mallet Magazine. And it was a good magazine. It was. Now, I don't think it was as good a magazine as we have today, like Wood Carving Illustrated and or other magazines. But this museum was strictly run by donations from people and carvers, and they sold some things there and stuff, but it was just a beautiful museum. And something happened. I don't exactly know the full story. I don't think we got the full story, but I used to give to it. And now here we are, just kind of just separating this so we can kind of even up a little bit what's going on here. Something financially happened, and the museum went bankrupt. And those beautiful, beautiful carvings, of course we all know when some place goes bankrupt, I don't know if there was mismanagement of money or just problems or whatever it was. Some people claim it was mismanagement of money. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I cannot tell you that. But the museum went bankrupt, and all those wonderful carvings that were in there had to be auctioned off. And a lot of the families I know got very, very upset over that, because a lot of them had their, grandfather's carvings and father's carvings in there that they thought were going to stay there, and it just did not end up very, very good. So anyway, it was a tragic story. Beautiful, beautiful carvings of people. Okay, now as we begin to do this and separate this, here's our tail back here. Let me get my pencil again. Now what you do is you sort of understand that you go toward the middle with the pieces. But that was a tragic event that occurred. And there was some very hard feelings over that situation. But it was just not a very good situation we had there. Okay. And come up here. Did I nick myself? I sure did. I nicked myself. There was a little place in the wood there, and